how to eat like an uncommon man. If you want to have an exceptional life, eating well is a good part of it. One of the men yesterday said to me, I was sick this week. I said, uncommon men don't get sick. I've known Ben Patrick since 2018. I have not seen him miss a day because he was sick. He did say he had a cold once. I didn't see any evidence of it. There was no evidence of it in his videos. He was online every day. He used to make a reel every day and we used to speak most days. I never saw him off. And since him setting me that example, I'm the same. It's been a long time since I've been physically unwell enough that I couldn't have a good day of developing myself. And that is the position that we want to be in for business. We want to be able to trust ourselves and rely on ourselves. Health is one of those aspects. So if we can cultivate health, we're in a stronger position. So how do you eat like an uncommon man? And eating is only one component of the health. But the common man, or the way that we're socially engineered to eat, we're socially engineered to think of food as a reward, and that we should have pizza and donuts and Coca-Cola as a reward of like, okay, yeah, you deserve yourself a sugar drink. You know, you worked hard, or you're stressed, so you should have a sugar drink, and this is your reward, or this is going to fix things for you. While you're thinking like that, you can never achieve your best. You're not going to be at your ultimate. Why would we not seek our ultimate? Why would you put things into your body that are not going to move you towards what you want? Now, from wherever you are at the moment, it's going to be a process to get to the point where, like, I don't eat that stuff. I remember I used to eat a lot of McDonald's and Burger King, and I used to eat all kinds of fast food. And when I traveled through Latin America in my 20s, I lived on beans and tortillas and weak, sweet coffee. And it was really bad for my health. I lost my hair really fast during that time. And I knew it wasn't good for my brain, for my body. But I didn't know how to do anything better at that time. I didn't have any money, and I didn't really value myself. I didn't really value my health enough to do something about it. If you're watching this, you probably value yourself enough, at least to be watching, that you want more out of life. By getting your nutrition better, your brain will work better. We've got one of the Uncom players yesterday reporting, I've saved $200 this month. So with $200, you can be inside of the uncommon game. And he saved that in the first half of the month. What did he do? He stopped having energy drinks. And he's like, my energy is so much better. I stopped having energy drinks. It's funny they're called energy drinks. Maybe that's by design because they know that they're going to sap you of all your energy. But he quit energy drinks, and as a result, he has a bit more money in his pocket. But more importantly, he feels better in his brain. He's like, yeah, I'm not feeling anxious like I was before. I'm feeling more confident. Like, your experience of life is much better when your blood is better. There are other factors as well. Who you're around and what you're thinking about is going to impact your blood. It's going to impact your psychology. But there's no denying that there is a physical and physiological component to how you're feeling and how likely you are to be successful, how likely you are to win a fight or to lift a weight. We want to upgrade your blood. We want to upgrade what's going on the inside. So you can feel much, much better on your journey. You can feel more confident. You can have less anxiety. You can have more testosterone. You can have more positive energy towards what you want to achieve in all aspects of life by improving what you eat. So what does that mean? It's nature's foods, right, is the foundation. We're always going to go back to, when we talk about relationships, when we talk about business, when we talk about marketing, psychology, we're always going to go back to, what does the reptilian brain want? What does a cell on a basic level want? And then how have we evolved? What does the mammal want? When you look in nature, every species has an ideal diet, what they generally consume in nature. And their instincts are very strong. If you watch a goat, they'll go and eat some of these leaves and they'll go and eat some of those leaves. And they're very instinctive if you put them in a natural environment. Now in a zoo, it's a different thing. What we've created for mankind is this zoo environment where we're surrounded by unnatural foods, and we go into these little supermarkets. I was just in Poland. They've got these little Żabka frog supermarkets everywhere, and they've all got the same food, and none of it's really food. And so you're choosing between all these options of nothing good, and people are eating from them, and their brains don't work, and their bodies don't work, and it's not a surprise. When you put an animal in a zoo, when you put an animal in captivity, They lose their fertility. One of the biggest problems with zoos is that the breeding programs don't work, right? Like, it's a huge effort to have the animals able to breed. They literally can't breed. Fertility medicine is one of the fastest growing areas of Western medicine. We have to look at things through the lens of evolution, or of what is our natural way. If you don't believe in evolution, it doesn't matter. There's still a natural, if there were no shops, what would you eat? And if you look at ice ages and you think about things logically, meat has been and always will be the prized energy source, and source of not just energy, but everything that you need in the body. Thinking of food as energy you're already losing. Think of food as information. Think of food as building blocks. If you put in the building blocks that are similar to what you're made of, then it's easier for your body to make that. Now, there are animals that are adapted that do it in a different way. Herbivores aren't actually herbivores. They ferment stuff in their gut that other animals and small microbes eat, and then they eat the output of those microbes, or the microbes themselves. So they have little protein factories inside of themselves and fat factories inside of themselves. So even a goat is not on a high carb diet, even though it's only carbohydrate and proteins that are relatively indigestible that are going down their throat. They're ending up eating something similar to what we need to eat, but we don't have all those stomachs and we don't have all that energy to give to our digestion. We need to put in roughly what we need to consume, because we don't have these factories to transform things. And so, in my experience, when you focus on meat as the foundation of the diet, you feel better. And this is true for most people that I've worked with. When they go to that base, they feel better. Now, if you want to add, and if you do well with some potatoes, some rice, some other vegetables, it's fine. We don't need to debate the minutiae of diet. The problem is that most of what we're eating is franken-foods, chemical stuff that has never and will never be food. Your grandma, your great-grandma never ate that stuff and didn't know what it is. The foods that our ancestors have valued are organ meats, muscle meat, bones, soup, eggs, seafood, fish. These are the foods that our ancestors have valued. We can go deeper into the weeds, but the fundamental thing is eat like a man, eat like an uncommon man, but consider what your ancestral roots are. Just think back to 10 generations ago. If they weren't eating it, don't eat it. The way that we're preparing a lot of these modern foods, you might be like, well, my ancestors ate bread 10 generations ago. Yeah, but it better be like the bread that they ate that was ground with stone, and that was non-genetically modified, not sprayed, organic. People make jokes about, oh, organic. Everything was organic. It's the other stuff that's weird. It's chemically and genetically modified that should be considered weird. Organic shouldn't even be a thing. That's just food. And then everything else is like franken-foods. We should have a franken-foods section of the supermarket and a real foods. The real food section would be very small. It's generally around the outsides of the supermarket. So if you could make the decision, I'm going to eat like an uncommon man, and I'm going to persist with that, that would be a great thing. If you decided that you wanted to move towards having a relationship with local farmers, I just had some milk and yogurt this morning. It's from a farm that's just over there. It's processed it's unprocessed. The yogurt's processed in the best way to consume it. If you can make that decision and you can back that decision with consistency, you're in a much better position to get the life that you want, to write the own terms of your life and actually go and live that. How is it that you would like to live? If you can decide it, and then you go, okay, well, what would the person who was going to star in that movie and play that role, how would they be? What would they do? What would they eat? And eat that. And test it for yourself. You might want to have times where you have more organ meats. You might want to have times where it's more keto. You might want to do a full carnivore diet. You might want to do carb cycling. The minutiae, there's many details. I've used many diets and it's great. You can also use protocols to kill off things that have started to grow more in your system because you were eating foods that are designed to grow stuff in your body that is not ideal for your brain and for your health. If you've had more health issues and you've had more health interventions in your body, then putting some effort and energy into that may make some sense as well, using the best of the modern understanding or Chinese medicine, traditional understandings of how to help and heal the body. But on a fundamental level, understand that we have this vehicle and the vehicle is important. You are not your body, but you live in a physical body. And the physical body is going to impact your ability to live your mission. So that decision, okay, I'm going to eat like an uncommon man, that also goes for drugs and vaping, alcohol. Like, why would you put poison consistently into your body? I'm not saying that you can't use some sort of thing as an experience to expand your consciousness. Like the discussion around mushrooms has been a popular one. Maybe mushrooms actually led us to much increased consciousness. I don't know. If you're experimenting with consciousness through using marijuana or alcohol, fine. But if you're dependent on that and you don't know how to manage your psychology, then that's weak. And that's taking away from your ability to be who you need to be a man on a mission, to achieve life on your own terms. You need to move away from the stuff that is distracting you, that is taking you away from being a creator. It's consumption of toxic things. Stop consuming toxic things. This also goes for social media, this goes for YouTube, this goes for the news, this goes for relationships. But with food, first do no harm. Stop putting stuff in your body that you don't think is going to make your body better. And then heal, nourish, support. If you can make that decision, you're in a much better place to lead a family, to lead a business, to lead yourself, and to be proud. Are you doing things that you're proud of? What would you do if you had to be proud of yourself? If you had to be the person that you're most proud of, what would you eat? If you continually answer that question and then follow it, life will get better.